지구기에 주신 메토정 위험은 신인대변파디 성계신 듬이 세그와이 로큰 넘다 신라지 발소 이담 그르рат나 만달라 강림야타야미 죄담석이 적남라 점주발드덕니 겹스치 나기준옌기 배서남기 프롤라펜칠 성배주 발쇼 주당석이 적남마 전주발드덕니 겹스치 나기준옌기 배서남기 프롤라펜칠 성배주 발쇼 주당석이 적남라 전주발드덕니 겹스치 나기준옌기 배서남기 프롤라펜칠 성배주 발쇼
Thank you for coming. I know it's a hassle to come in to Manhattan on a Sunday, but thank you for coming. I'm going to just go straight into it. Chod is an ancient practice from 1,000 years ago. It was made popular by a Tibetan guru named Chod, who was born in 62, I think. Chod means to cut, right? Like the Diamond Cutter Sutra is very famous in Tibet. It's called Dojit Chupa. So that means to cut. Chod is the past tense, cut, already cut off. And then what you're supposed to cut is yourself, all right? Your ego or yourself. And yesterday we spoke about what does it mean to cut your ego. And it's very common to go to a teaching like this, go to especially a Buddhist teaching or something like that, and they will say, you should cut your ego in the sense that you shouldn't assert yourself, you should be mild and meek, and you should just take whatever comes to you, and smile, and if they say you have cancer, just relax, and smile, and if they say you lost your job, just don't stress, and cut your ego, don't be so egotistical, you know, it almost feels sometimes like they're telling you don't be anything or anybody, okay? And that would be cutting your ego, that would be chod. That's a lesser understanding of this practice, okay? This practice involves, we said yesterday we did the first half of the practice, which is cutting the ego in the sense of understanding that I am not myself, okay? Already I am not myself. My ego was cut from the beginning. What does that mean, all right? And then we described it with a pen, okay? Then we'll do it real fast, okay? What is this thing? It's a pen, all right? If a dog came up on the stage and a puppy dog, and I waved it in front of the puppy dog, what would they do? They would chew it, right? Does the dog see it as a pen? No. They see it as a chew toy. Who's right, the human or the dog? Good, both. You can say both. Then if I put this object here, and then all the people leave the room, and all the dogs leave the room, at that time, which one is it? Neither. And that's the idea, that's the Buddhist idea of emptiness, all right? That's what emptiness means, nothing else, okay? It doesn't mean nothing's real. This is empty, but I can draw a mustache on your face, okay? If you don't think so, come up on the stage, okay? I'll give you a nice, I do different ones. Okay, it's not a pen by itself, but it will be a pen for me. Right? For me, it's a pen. Is it coming from me, or is it coming from itself? It must be coming from me. If it were coming from itself, the dog would see a pen. It would announce itself, I'm a pen, I'm a pen, I'm a pen. Okay? No, it would feel like that, but it doesn't. It must be coming from me. If you're not sure of that principle, take the example of your favorite song, okay? You're driving in the car with your friend, you know, you say, God, you know, you gotta hear this song, you know? You pull out your iPhone and you put on the iPhone, you know, and you get in the Steve Miller Band. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and then you say, you gotta hear this song. Here we go. You sing along, right? Because you like it so much. And then you look at your friend. And they're like, they give you the ultimate diss. They say, that's really interesting. Okay, you know that. You go through that, right? You go through that. I go through that every day. They start talking in the middle of the song. Then I know they're not really listening to it. You know? Songs are empty, okay? If you hear something beautiful, it's coming from you, okay? If it were in the song, then it would be everybody's favorite song. But it's not, I guess. Okay? I knew I'd get to play it today, because the band doesn't want to play it. So the pen is the same way, right? It's coming from me, right? Why? How? Why do I see a pen? Why does the dog see something to chew? I have a seed in my mind to see a pen, okay? You can call it a karma if you want to get fancy, but I think karma gets confused, you know? Everybody gets confused about the word karma. I prefer to call it a seed. In China, we don't call it ye li. Ye li means karma in Chinese. We call it zhong, what was it? No. Shikwa zhong zi. We call it zhong zi, which means seed. We don't use the word karma, we use the word seed. Okay? Seed means I have a seed in my mind to see it as a pen. Who put the seed there? I did. Only I can put seeds in my mind. Okay? Nobody else can put a seed in my mind. How do I put a seed in my mind? I watch myself do something. That's karma. Okay? I watch Michael do something. All right? And it has to be to somebody else. Okay? I need other people to make a karmic seed. Right? You can't do a karmic seed on yourself. Right? It's like a knife cutting itself. They say in the scriptures it's like a knife. You can't use a knife to cut the knife. Okay? You can cut other things with the knife, but you need an orange or an apple or a piece of bread. You can't cut a knife with itself. Right? You cannot make a karma by yourself. It's not possible. Okay? You need another person to plant the seed with. Okay? So I need. If I want to have a seed for a pen in my mind, I have to watch myself give a pen to somebody else. I have to see Michael's hand, right? My eyes are watching my hand, like a video camera. And I see the hand get smaller, right? And it reaches out to somebody else's hand. And then I put the pen in their hand, and then I let go of the pen. I see myself let go of the pen. That plants a seed. That plants a seed in the mind. Watching myself let go of the pen and thinking I gave the pen to somebody else, that plants a seed in my mind. I think what's useful to know is what happens to the seed in between the time I give the pen and the time I see a pen. All right? What's happening to the seed during that time? Depending on certain emotions and understandings I have, okay? I'll say it again. Depending on certain emotions and understanding I have when I give the pen, a seed is placed in my subconscious. It sits there under the ground of my mind and it matures like other seeds, right? It ripens underground. You put a seed underground and something starts happening right away. And then sooner or later what? It cracks open and it pops up and it clears the ground, right? You see a little sprout come up, right? How does it happen in the mind? The seed splits open in your subconscious. It starts to make its way towards the conscious mind. And things are timed, okay? The timing is perfect. 7 billion people's seeds are all timed to interlock. They interweave, they intermesh with each other. It's extraordinary, okay? I come to the talk. The guy talking holds up an object. At that instant, the seed opens in my mind. How does it open? A tiny image pops into my conscious mind. A tiny image comes out of the subconscious and pops into my conscious mind. It's an image of a pen. Okay? It's the image of a pen. It's this big. Okay? The image is this big. And then I'm looking at that image as somebody holds up this object. And I mistake the image for the object. And I say that's a pen. Okay? I have created the pen by giving a pen. All right? You've got to understand that. Just understanding that much, you can get a sense. You can create your own reality. Okay? You can use these principles. You are not a victim of the seeds in your mind. You can plant the garden that you want. You know? I plant my garden right now. This morning I was at the Starbucks and eating a huge breakfast and talking to Adriana and planning my garden for the spring. You know, it's actually planning how to keep the deer out. And so I'll decide tulips will go there and irises will go there, and the roses, I'll give the roses extra food, and the jasmine will go there, and I plan the whole garden before spring. I plan. Then I plant the things I want. And then I just relax, okay? You don't put a seed in the ground and go out and stand and watch. You know? You plant. You cover it with hay, you water it, you put a little fertilizer, then you go sit in your house for a while, you relax. And you don't go out and stress and stare at the dirt, okay? You don't have, it doesn't help. It will come up, okay? And it will be beautiful because you planned it properly, okay? You can plan your future like that. You can plan your life like that, all right? It's very interesting. It's a new way of living. I think when you teach something, you should have tried it yourself, right? If you're gonna, when you're talking to people, even if it's just one other person in Starbucks, right? You say stuff and then they listen. And then they can hear conviction in your voice, okay? Like, it doesn't matter what words you say. If you did it all, if you gardened your own life, they can smell it. If you're sitting there saying you can make anything in your life happen that you want to happen, then they're going to look at you and deep down inside they're going to say, well, how's his life going? You know, if what he says is true, then he should be like rich and he should be happy and he should be healthy and he should have a nice relationship. And okay, that's natural. People will check. If you claim to be able to design the future, and you have a lousy life going on, then it's something suspicious. Okay. So I'm not boasting, okay? But my Lama told me to make a company in Manhattan and help the refugees. It's $250 million now. And it was sold to Warren Buffett, okay? 10,000 people. We started with 3. We started with renting one table in another guy's office. We weren't allowed to go to the bathroom unless we asked him. Okay? And now there's a building downtown, 12-story building, you know, like that. You can design your future, okay? You can design your health, you can change your health. I used to have a very bad handicap. I couldn't walk some days. Now I do ballet. Just to say, you. Okay? To my, you know, to my body, like, you know. No, it's just like a statement, you know, like, you're not only not gonna live, you're gonna do ballet. And I don't like ballet that much, but it's just, no, it's just a statement that I could do it, you know what I mean? I couldn't do it when I was 20, right? I tried, I couldn't do it when I was 20, right? And now I'm 100. And then, you know, relationship, you can have the most beautiful relationship in the world, and I have, okay? So you can design what you want if you understand the seed planting thing. We went through that yesterday, all right? Now, try to understand this. This and this are the same, okay? Everything's coming from you, not just outside objects, okay? Not just the school, and not just the pen you're using. But your body is coming from you, from seeds in your mind. And what you hear in your head is coming from you. You don't think your thoughts. Your thoughts go off a microsecond before you hear them. Okay? They come out of the seeds in your mind. And you're just a witness. You're just a listener. Are you talking and listening at the same time? It's not possible. Okay? Seeds open in your mind. Your mind says stuff. And you're the victim of your seeds. If the seeds are depressed thoughts, then you don't have a choice. You know, you think people want to be depressed. You know, you can't stop those seeds. You can't say, let's be happy today. You know, my Lama, people used to come from New York to New Jersey, and they would wait like a couple hours to see my teacher, and then they would get their big audience, and they would go upstairs, and I had to bring the tea, so I heard all of the, or sometimes I had to translate, and then I would hear all the heart exchanges going on, you know, and somebody would come from, especially New Yorkers, I don't know why, they'd say, Rinpoche, I'm depressed, you know, and then he'd look at them and say, be happy. And then they'd look at him like, and they'd say, that's enough, send up the next person. You know? And really, and then they'd come down and I'd say, what did he say? And they said, he told me to be happy. You know, and it's like a joke, right? Because you can't be, when you're sad or when you're depressed, you can't be happy. The problem is you're listening to thoughts that are coming out of karmic seeds in your mind. And you're just listening. You're the listener. You're not the thinker. Okay? Technically, in the scriptures, they say those thoughts go off a microsecond before you hear them. And it should be that way. It takes time to get across the synapses, right? Those thoughts, by the time you hear them, those thoughts are passed like the light coming from the stars, right? Sometimes they say the starlight you see is from stars which are no longer burning. They stopped burning, but the light took that long to get to us. Your thoughts are the same. The thoughts come out of the subconscious mind from karmic seeds. Then a microsecond later you hear them. You are always living 1 microsecond behind. Okay? You thought you were late to everything, you are. Okay? It's very interesting. So what I'm trying to say is that the way you experience yourself is the same as the way you experience the pen. All right? And different people will experience you in different ways. Okay? And that's the way, like the favorite song, Think. So then the big question should become, how do I plant seeds to see a different me? You know, I would like to tweak my me a little bit. I would like to be different than I am now. Okay? Everybody has wishes, right? Everybody has a dream. You should have some dream. Okay? It doesn't matter, big or small. Take some dream and do an experiment. All right? Take one of your dreams and do an experiment. Plant a seed and see if this stuff works. Okay? See if you can make a change in your life using this idea. Okay? Okay? It's a different idea. And it's the pen. It's based on the pen. So don't forget the pen. Why do I use a pen and not a banana? Because in theory, you're going to use a pen a couple times a day. A lot of you carry pens around with you. And I'm hoping that every time you see the pen, you think of it. You're in the bank and you have to fill out a deposit form and you pick up a pen. And I want you to think about where it's coming from. It's coming from seeds in your mind. Okay? So I'm going to go really quickly through the process. It's not enough to plant seeds. You have to know how to take care of them properly. Right? There's stuff you have to do in the spring, right? I started last fall. I mulched the beds last fall for this spring. Okay? I had to go out and turn the soil and put some hay on it and put some fertilizer on it. Where we live, you have to put, you know, everything because it's all rocks. And then there's stuff you have to do while the seeds are coming up, and then there's stuff you have to do to keep them healthy, right? If you want the secret in the desert in Arizona to beautiful roses, right? It's Starbucks coffee grinds. Okay, you go to Starbucks and you say, "Can I have the old grinds?" And they like it because they're in the way. And they give me huge bags of grinds, and I put them on the roses, and they're over my head now. They started like little sticks like this. Okay? So it's not enough to plant a rose. You have to know how to take care of it, right? And how to prepare for the rose. Then you have some extraordinary thing. You know people who are generous. You know people who give financial help to other people all the time. But they didn't make $250 million, okay? And their bones in their feet didn't change, okay? You need to know it's not enough to plant a good seed. What's more important is to know how to take care of the soil before you plant it and how to take care of the seed after you plant it. The before the planting and after the planting are more important than the planting, okay? I go out to plant flowers, it takes 10 minutes, okay? To prepare for the flowers takes many days. And to take care of them afterwards takes many days. The planting is nothing, okay? All the people you know who were generous and didn't reach financial, what do you call it? Independence. I like independence. I like independence. I don't like to be dependent on a credit card company. I don't like to sit around and wait for my boss to give me a raise. I hate that stuff. You know, I'm very, what do you call it? I don't like any kind of boss. So I'd like to be financially independent. I call it oxygen money. Oxygen money means there's enough oxygen in the room for everybody. You're not sitting there thinking, is there enough oxygen? You just walk in and you breathe, right? I think your money, your finances should be like that. You know, I just don't think about it. You know, I ask Jingmei every once in a while how much money I have, and then she's like, I said, can I give away this? Can I give away $200 this afternoon? She's checking. Like, really, okay? We have to know by 7. I know, but there was some other expenses. Like that, you should be like that. It should be, I think you should be independent, you know? Then if you want to serve other people, you have the means, right? You can fly to Jakarta and give a talk to the Muslim community. We did it a couple months ago, okay? You say, the Muslim community in Jakarta says, will you come give a talk? You say, yes. They say, we can't pay anything. You're like, I'm there. Don't worry about it. You know, I have enough money for a ticket. You don't have to worry about it. I'll be there. And it was beautiful, and it was awesome. And then there's no pressure on them. You know, they're not like, oh, how am I going to get a ticket? You know, so like that. Be independent. I'm going to give you 4 steps. Okay, write it down. You're a schmuck if you don't listen. I can't ever use that word in Arizona. Nobody listens to me. And if next year I meet you and I say, how you doing? Did you make a dream? And you say, no, then you're a nitnick, okay? And then people in Arizona especially don't know this word. Just try, okay? Just try. Number 1. Decide one thing that you want to run an experiment on. My teacher forced me to start a diamond business, okay? It was the last thing I wanted to do in the universe. Especially if it meant living in New Jersey, okay? No, the Dalai Lama forced me to go to New Jersey, okay? Like, it was the worst place in the world. And really, any place would have been better, okay? So you do an experiment, you do one experiment. You say, I'm going to do one experiment. It could be financial, okay? I want to make more money in 3 months. I would like to be making more money. Or I would like a different job, okay? I would like my boyfriend to be a little more affectionate, okay? When I come home and go like this, he should hug me and not go to do Facebook. You know, he goes like this and he hugs his computer. And, you know, I'd like him to pay a little more attention to me. Okay, like that. Okay. No, these are all worthy experiments. Okay, these are for real. I'm not giving some spiritual talk. Okay. I want you to make your dreams come true. Then we'll take it to the world. Then we'll take it to the rest of the world. Okay, we have to. That's coming, okay? But first prove it to yourself. You can't go telling people I'm going to make you happy if you're obviously miserable, okay? It doesn't, nobody buys it. All right, so here's number one, decide what you want. Write one short sentence, okay? I had a lady last night, she wanted to tell me about her life, you know, and I said one sentence. What do you want in one sentence? I want my relationship to get better, and blah, 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 and I'm like, no, stop. One sentence, it's just, I want my relationship to get better because I said, stop. One sentence. It took like 5 stops. And then finally she did it. You know, I want my relationship to get better. That's all. That's enough. Make one sentence what you want. Decide what you want. As an experiment. If the experiment works, we can go for bigger stuff. You know? If it doesn't work, you just stop. Do something else. Do what you always did. Okay? I don't know. Step number 2. You must find somebody else to plant the seed with. Okay? I used to say in, but then some guys got an idea. You must find someone to plant the seeds with. Okay? Which means you have to find someone who wants something similar. All right? If I want pen seeds, I have to find a person who needs a pen. And I have to give them a pen, and I have to watch myself give them the pen, because that plants the seed for the pen. All right? Got it? So it doesn't have to be exactly the same, because the Abhidharma Kosha 4th chapter says that if the groundhogs are not mating in that month, you can be born as a dog. Okay? It means there's some leeway. Okay? You can get pencils and you can still get a pen. Okay? Alright? Find someone who wants something similar. Right? Then I had an irritating person this morning. You're not really irritating, but the statement was irritating. I don't know anybody like that. Spend 2 days looking and you'll find 100. Alright? Come on, get real. You know, I want a boyfriend, but I don't know anybody who wants a boyfriend. Look for 20 minutes. You know? No, I mean, it's just blatant laziness, okay? And if you're lazy, the system doesn't work, okay? It's not going to happen. Right? Find somebody. Look around in your usually within your immediate circle of friends and family, you'll find somebody. Or the people at work, okay? But you can find somebody who wants the same thing that you want, okay? That's step number 2. By the way, step number 2, take a lot of time planning it, okay? Take a lot of time. Consider many candidates. You're gonna choose one, all right? You're gonna choose one to be your project. It's gonna be your pet project, your pilot project, okay? But choose one. Okay? But think a lot about them. Right? Think as much information as you can think of about them. She wants a boyfriend. Then ask yourself why. Oh, she had a bad breakup a couple years ago. Then what happened? Oh, she got burned and she was afraid to have a boyfriend for a couple years, you know. And then she keeps thinking about the old one. And then I ask her to go out and she doesn't want to go out because she's afraid. She's going to get burned. Then I set her up with this guy and then she, you know, like that. Collect information in your mind like you're a private investigator. Okay? Everything you know about this person, run it through your mind. Because you have to help them. Right? You're going to have to help them. So you have to review in your mind all the information you know. And ask around. Okay? You know, did she go out with anybody in the last 6 months? No. You know, has she been in? Has she gone on vacation? Has she done anything? Ask her friends. Like, collect a whole dossier about this person. Pretend you're like doing an investigation about them. They are your pet project. You have to know as much about them as you can. Right? They're going to be your pet project. And then plan. I say step 3, okay? You ready for step 3? Take them to Starbucks. Okay? Take them out to some place to talk. Okay? I like Starbucks. It's what do you call it? It's anonymous. It's neutral. Everybody goes there, right? No one's going to notice whatever you talk about. They don't care, right? She'll feel safe at Starbucks. No one, you know, there's no one there who's going to overhear the conversation. Or they don't care, you know. People go there and talk to themselves at length. There was a guy yesterday at the Starbucks. We go there to work, and he had a big bottle of whiskey, and he had this long, loud conversation going on with himself. And no, people just tune it out. They don't listen, okay? And step number 3, take them to Starbucks. Do you have to take them every day? No. You know, let's say, I don't know, let's say you want a boyfriend, okay? Let's say you're looking for a boyfriend. Step number 2 would be, think of someone who's looking for a boyfriend, all right? Or it could be any lonely person. I like to tell people, go to a nursing home, okay? Go to a nursing home. Adopt one of the elderly, lonely ladies. I have one. I have one for 20 years, okay? And I use her, okay? All right? And I go there, every time I'm in Phoenix. I go through Phoenix. I stop at her house. I take her a bouquet of flowers. I fix something in her house. Recently I fixed her toilet seat. I did her shower handle. Then we did the light over the stove hood. That light. And she thinks I'm a genius, okay? And then we did a sprinkler system for her garden. You know, like that. We fixed her sidewalk. Like that. So every time you go, you do something for her. And then you say, then you surprise her. You say, hey, you want to go out to dinner? And she's like, oh, I'm so surprised. You know, and you do it every time. And she's already got her hair done. And, you know, she's like, oh, me? You want to take me to dinner? And she's like, my purse is ready. Let's go. And then you take her out and you treat her and, you know, and you listen and you give her companionship, right? That's step number 3. That's planting a seed, all right? Take them out, plant the seed. You could take them out once every week or once every 2 weeks, okay? Don't try to do more than you can do comfortably, all right? Because you'll stop. And it's people like that, they just want something regular. It doesn't have to be frequent. Okay? They want to know you'll be there once every 2 weeks. You don't have to go every day. They want to know you're going to be there twice a month. And then you have to keep it up. You have to be regular and predictable, okay? Now, there's a trick to number 3 that you got to know. There's a trick to number 3 that you got to know, all right? If you take an elderly woman out to dinner and fix her toilet seat, and, oh, by the way, is helping her once every 2 weeks enough to have a boyfriend who stays around 24 hours a day? I mean, this is a deep philosophical question. Okay? Shouldn't you have to help her 24 hours a day to get a boyfriend who doesn't just visit you twice a month? You tell me. No. Why? Seeds grow. Seeds grow. Okay? Seeds grow. I checked on the internet. Ningbo is always hassling me because I exaggerate in the class. Did I exaggerate today? Probably. But I checked on the internet. An acorn weighs a half a gram. An oak tree weighs 250 tons. Okay? If you don't believe that example, then how about your dad's sperm and your mom's egg? One sperm, one egg, 70 years of trillions upon trillions of cells replicating themselves. Your body, over the length of your life, came from 2 tiny cells. Okay? That's power. That's extraordinary power. Okay? Mental seeds are much more fecund, much more powerful. Okay? Mental seeds are much more powerful than that. Okay? Take the lady out once every 2 weeks, you got a boyfriend for decades. Okay? I'm not kidding, okay? You gotta appreciate that. You gotta appreciate the power of a seed. Mental seeds are much more powerful than seeds in the physical world, in the natural world. Okay? Now, there's a trick to number 3. If you don't pay attention right now, there's going to be a mess up. It's selfish to go visit an old lady in exchange for a boyfriend. All right? It's selfish to go there, you know, and step out of her house when you get home and start looking around the street. You know, I visited the old lady, where's the boy? You know, I'll give you some money if I can get rich. You see, I'll give you a pen if I can get 10. Like that. It's a business deal. It's selfish. Okay? Then there's a trick to number 3 to change it from selfish to enlightened. Okay? There's a trick with number 3 to change it from selfish to enlightened. What's the trick? It's very easy and it's true, so it's a no-brainer. Okay, it's very easy. While you're sitting at Vincent's restaurant with your old lady, and she's like cleaning up the wine off her blouse, because she always spills them. Okay. And then take a moment to think to yourself, if this works, if this really works, I will get a beautiful boy. A beautiful boy will come to me. Okay? If you leave it at that, it's a selfish deal. I'm exchanging a couple days a month for a boyfriend. Then that's selfish. When you take a lady out and you plant a boyfriend that way, you're going to get a boyfriend who's selfish. All right? So we got to be careful here. All right? You will get a boyfriend. Even if your motivation sucks, you will get a boyfriend. All right? Because that's the way the seeds work. But he will be selfish. All right? He will use you as an object. Like that. Okay? So we don't want that. How do we prevent that? How do I change the seed? As you're helping the old lady, let it run through your mind that if this stuff works, I will get a nice man. A nice man will come into my life. By the way, when I say come, I mean come. You don't have to go looking. All right? You will bump into him someplace, and not by accident. Okay? You created the bump in. You created the bump in. All right? You designed the bump in. All right? Then your friend, you know, you will, of course, after a couple of dates, you will want to show him off to your friends who said you could never find a boyfriend, okay? And then, you know, you just casually take him along, you know, to the next time you meet your friends at Starbucks, you know? And you walk in, and all 3 of them are sitting there, and they look up, and you're walking with this boy, and they're wondering if you just came in at the same time, you know? You know, or he's your cousin or something. Okay, and then you sit down and they're kind of, you know, there's this moment of indecision, like they don't know how to relate to him yet, because they might hit on him if he's not your boyfriend. And then you're like, I want to introduce you to my new boyfriend, you know, and then suddenly all around the table there's this, mwah, you know, and they're all like, boyfriend? You know, and then you all have coffee and they keep slipping glances at him, you know, and then he says, I have to catch a train or something, and he leaves, and then everybody's like, where'd you get him, where'd you get him, you know? Which club? Which yoga center? You know? Which Bhagavad Gita teaching was it? You know, where did you meet this boy? You know, you haven't had a boy for 5 years, you've been looking around for a boy, and now suddenly you got this one. You know, are you using a different perfume or something? You know, can you tell us what it is, you know? And then you're going to say what? Don't worry about, it's not a club, it's not this or that Sephora, it's a nursing home, okay? I have a secret weapon at the nursing home, okay? And then you turn them on to this idea. If you have 5 friends, 2 of them will try it, okay? 2 of them will, I mean, if you give them a good teaching, which you should, okay? That's why I'm asking you to write down the 4 things. Because you have to transmit, you're the next person in the lineage, okay? I don't have time to walk around New York and meet all your friends. You have to take care of your friends, okay? You have to pass it on to your friends. If it works, wouldn't it be a wonderful gift to give to your friends, okay? Look, you can design a boy. I got this teaching. I don't want you to call it Buddhist, okay? I don't care. You can call it Zoroastrian or something. It doesn't matter to me, okay? You try it, check it out. Get a lady in a nursing home. Take care of her, okay? And you will get one too. And then 2 of them will try it and 2 of them will get boys. Then you're like 6 of you walking in. 3 boys, 3 girls. And the other 3 friends who are slackers, even they will be convinced, okay? Right? Then what will happen with their friends? I mean, your friend hasn't had a boyfriend for 7 years, okay? Then the friends will ask them, where did you find him? And then it will become a fad, okay? You will be at the middle of a new movement, the nursing home boyfriend movement, okay? All right? No, it's natural, okay? I was in the diamond business, right? We built the company to $250 million. Then Doubleday called me, and they said, I always wanted to be a writer, right? Actually, I planted the seeds for it. That's another story. But they called me, and they said, would you write a book about what you did at that company? It's the fastest growing company of its kind, manufacturing company, in the history of New York City. Would you write a book about it? And then I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, but how did you... Then I said, I'll write it for free, because I just want to let people know. They said, no, you can't write it for free. We had a big fight. And they're like, we have to pay you. And I said, I don't want any money. They said, $50,000. I said, they want to give me $50,000. I never wrote a book in my life. Right? They said, we'll give you $50,000. I'm like, no, I don't need the money. I don't want the money. They sent it to me. You know, they insisted on sending it to me. You know? And then people will ask you, what's your story? How did you do that? Right? People will ask you. When you do step number 3, project your mind into the future and see 35 other people getting a boyfriend, or 100, or 1,000. Okay? See the whole chain reaction as it's going to be in 6 months or 1 year. And then it's not selfish, then it's the service of the world. Then it's bodhicitta, if you want to use the word. Okay? You want to know what bodhicitta is? It's not sitting in a class and it's actually, okay? It doesn't help anybody. Okay? Get a boyfriend using these principles, that's bodhicitta. Really, okay? Really, try to, if you don't learn anything else today, you Buddhist people, learn what bodhicitta is, okay? It's to make your dreams come true and set an example for the rest of the world, because they will follow you. They will call you and ask you to write a book. Okay? And they'll offer you money to write the book. How do you get a boyfriend? Can you write a book called How You Get a Boyfriend? You know, I met him at the nursing home. Something like that. Okay? That's bodhicitta. That's really changing the world. That's really affecting the world. Okay? You set an example with your success. In anything, your health, your relationships, your finances, something else, okay? Your level of anger, right? You change it. Ani Belma is famous, okay? The lady who started the Three Jewels. When I met her, she was the most angry person I ever met. Don't tell her when she gets out of Three Retreat. Okay? But she used the seeds on herself. And now she's this beautiful, beautiful person, okay? She's one of the people I know who changed themselves the most in the world, okay? And then people will get interested. They'll say, what did you do to her? You know, how did you do that? You see? And then you start a revolution. So number 3, to prevent it from planting a seed for selfish. If you don't think in big terms, by getting the boyfriend through making seeds, I'm changing the whole world. I'm starting a movement. Keep that in mind. That's bodhicitta. That prevents it from, if you don't do that, the boyfriend's going to be a selfish son of a gun. Okay? He will keep using you for his purposes. Got it? Alright? So we don't want that. That's step number 3. Step number 4. We're doing good on time. The clock's wrong, right? Yeah. They let the kids out an hour early. I like it. It's a good clock, Michael. Step number 4, the most important. Okay? Step number 4, the most important. All right? It makes the difference between. See, seeds. Okay, Rinpoche told me start a business in New York for the refugees. I went to another Lama in my monastery. I said, you know, Rinpoche, his name was Geshe Tarchin at the time. Ken Rinpoche's name was Geshe. Geshe Tarchin told me I should start a business in New York, you know. What should I do? He says, use the Diamond Cutter Sutra. I said, well, what am I supposed to do? He said, you know, you help somebody else start a business, and then your business will take off. Okay? We call a karmic business partner. If Ben Galmi talks at Princeton University, he's going to talk about karmic business partners. Okay? Like, you need a karmic business partner. Right? You have to find somebody else who's starting a business. Even those of you who are interested in charitable work, if you want to fundraise for your charitable work, find another person who has a charitable project and help them raise money. Okay? I gave a big talk in Singapore to a huge group of NGOs, and they got it. They were so excited. You know? People who do social work tend to be the most selfish when it comes to funding. Okay? They compete with each other, and they're very possessive of their sponsors. You know? So do the opposite. If you have a charitable mission and you want to raise money for it, help some other charity raise money. And then money will flow into your charity. We did it at Diamond Mountain, right? We had to pay off $1.5 million in debt. We started with $1.5 million in debt, and we don't have any fees. We don't charge anything. So whatever money we got, we gave it to a competing institution. And we paid off the loan 25 years early, and the bank had a heart attack. Okay? It was really funny. Okay? So there's a trick to so I asked this Rinpoche, you know, how am I gonna start this business in New York that Ken Rinpoche wants me to start? He says, you help somebody else start a business. And then I'm like, okay, Rinpoche, now the big question, how long is this gonna take? You know, how many visits to the old lady? You know, what's the time frame here? You know, and he says, say Chimala. Say Chimala.
Chimala.
I'm sorry. Say Chimala.
Say Chimala.
Say Chimala.
Say Chimala.
And I'm like, when's it gonna come back to me? Next life. Next life. Then I'm like, Rinpoche, you don't get it. You know, I'm from America. You know, what's the only American institution that's everywhere? McDonald's. You know, I I was at a McDonald's, very interesting. If you don't make the French fries in 2 minutes, exactly the way they're supposed to be made, if the customer has to wait for their French fries more than 2 minutes, you get fired. You just get fired, that's it. You got 120 seconds to make the French fries, okay? I said, Rinpoche, I'm from McDonald's land. You know, we invented fast food. I can't wait till next flight, you know. I gotta show results now. Rinpoche's on my rear end, you know. He wants money for the refugees. People are starving, you know. They were starving. And he's like, you gotta get it done now. He says, oh, you need step number 4. Okay. Just do step number 4. You didn't tell me you needed it that quick. Do step number 4. Okay. So I'm telling you, direct from, his name is Jumbo, okay? He's not the Jumbo you know. What's step number 4? Okay. He never cries. Anyway. Step number 4 is take your old lady out, you know, or take the lonely person out to Starbucks. That's going to happen maybe in the afternoon, I'm guessing, okay? Because you're going to spend the morning planning what you're going to say, who you're going to take, what you're going to wear, what you're going to order for them. You have to pay, okay? You have to entrap them. All right? Plan in the morning, plan what you're going to wear, plan how to get her to the Starbucks. She's got a stroller, walker thing. These are hard to get into Starbucks. Make sure your friend's there ahead. They got a table ready. She can't stand up. An old person can't stand up and wait for a table. Like, you got the whole thing planned. It's like a military campaign. That's step number 2, right? Then you take her to Starbucks. Step number 3. You think about the little revolution you're starting. Right? I had a lady in Bulgaria. We went to Sofia, last year. Her name's Iskra. She said, I want boyfriend. I want boyfriend. Ya child, adin muj, okay? Ladna? And yeah, we can do it. Yeah. Then she got one, okay? She used it and she got one. Then she called me, she's all excited. She says, "Мы начинаем революцию," which means we're going to start a new revolution. Okay? Like, she's all excited. Like, Bulgarians love revolutions. So step number 3 is like, I'm going to start a revolution. Okay? People all over the world who are looking for a man will visit lonely people. You will have to take a number at the nursing home to get in to see the lonely people, okay? Because there'll be lines of young ladies waiting outside, okay? Is she free today? No. Next week? No. It'll be like a plumber or a doctor, okay? She's busy next week. That's step 3. Now here's step 4. You come back home, right? You drop her off at home. I always ask her, what's our next project, you know? Like, what are we going to do next week in the garden? Or what are we going to do next week what's in the house is broken? You know what she said last time? I said, what do we got enough to do in the garden, Mrs. Hancock? She says, Nikki's taking care of that. And he swiped her. Anyway. Then you say, what we're doing next time? When am I going to see you next time? Then you go home, okay? Then it's like evening, you have your dinner, you take a bath, you watch a little TV if that's what you do in the evening, read a book. Then you get ready for bed, okay? You start to get ready for bed. You put on your bedclothes, right? And you start to get ready for bed. Put on your bedclothes, sit on the edge of your bed, right? I got this thing nowadays. It's like this, right? You sit up against the headboard, right? You put lots of pillows behind you and you sit up next to the headboard. And don't assume a meditation posture. And forget the 8 steps of Vairocana's meditation posture. Okay? You're just like this, okay? Right? When you're thinking about a boy, you don't go like this, right? You're like... seriously, I mean, it's a very good posture for. Then do a meditation. Step 4 is a meditation. Think about how you helped her today. Okay? Then it's just like that. You're like leaning up against the pillows, you know? And you're getting a little sleepy, okay? And you're like, that was cool, you know? First I picked her up. She liked the flowers. Next time I'll have to use this. She likes that kind of flower. You're making mental notes about next time. She enjoyed the lemon cake. I'll have to remember to see, I'll take her next time to a place that has lemon cake, you know? And she really enjoyed talking about the boy that she met in high school, you know? The most handsome boy in high school in the little town in New Mexico where she grew up, and how he was and had a crush on her. So next time I'll ask her more about the boyfriend. You know, like making notes about next time, and reviewing what a nice thing you did today. When you dropped her off, she was all bubbly, and she was all smiling, and she's not lonely anymore, okay? She knows I'm going to come again, and she's not lonely anymore. She looks forward to it. Then step number 4 is to be happy about the nice thing that you did. Okay, it's not pride, okay? It's hard to get pride with visiting an old person, all right? Lady Ruth the other day, she said, I like Shavasana. You know, this final relaxation pose after you do your yoga. She says, I like Shavasana. I said, why? She said, nobody competes in Shavasana. You know, nobody's thinking my Shavasana is better than anybody else's Shavasana. You know? She obviously can't read my mind. I can compete about anything. Anyway, but it's the same, right? It's a healthy thing. You think, just be happy, okay? Like, just be happy and say, today, I was a nice person. I succeeded in being a nice person today. I served somebody today. You know, I did a nice thing. Now, number 4, step number 4, you must be especially happy about the fact that you didn't go to a yoga class, and you didn't go online, and you didn't go to a club looking for a boy, because they don't work. Okay? You have to be happy about the fact that you are finally acting with intelligence. Okay? That's very important. It's not just be happy that you took a lonely person out. You have to be happy that you are working in accordance with the Tao, right? Tao, the Tao, Fei Chong Tao, Ming Ming, Fei Chong Ming. Right? You are finally following the flow of the way the world works. Okay? You are not trying to get something by competing with other people, or by trying to get it away from other people. You are creating a boyfriend, you're not looking for one. Okay? You're not wandering around clubs and yoga studios looking for a guy who might be 70% of what you really want. Right? There's always a percent. There's a balance. He asks you out and you look at him and there's a number. Right? You want to go out tomorrow and you're like 63%. You know, that's cutting it a little close, you know. Maybe he'll get to 70. Okay, I'll go out with you. You know. Those are old ways, okay? Then step number 4, don't just be happy that you took her out. Be happy that you're finally doing something intelligently. And when intelligently, I mean correctly. Okay? You are finally using a means to fulfill your dream, which always works. All the time. It never doesn't work. All right? Then people come up to me, they say, Geshe, I took the lady out for 4 weeks, you know, every Friday, and the boy didn't come yet. What should I do? You know? Then I'll say, you know, when I first got to the refugee camp, I didn't know how to cook. I was in college. And, you know, they taught me how to cook a loaf of bread in a tin can on top of a little fire like that. They taught me how to make bread in a tin can. You make a cone out of the dough, and you put it in the tin can, and then you fill it up with water, and then you burn little sticks little tiny sticks under it, and it cooks the bread. Okay, if you keep a lid on it, it cooks the bread. Right? So then I'm like, but the outside of the tin can gets really disgusting, like it's covered with black carbon, right? And I remember I went down to the stream and I'm washing my tin can, you know, and it wasn't, I couldn't get it silvery, you know. All the Tibetan refugees had silvery tin cans, and mine was all black and disgusting, you know. And then all these refugee ladies, these old ladies, they're sitting there watching me, and I'm scrubbing the tin can. Then I said, I just learned how to speak a little Tibetan. I'm like, no get black, no get silver. How get silver? Then she came over and she goes, rub harder. You rub hard. Then it got silver. I'm like, ah, okay. If you take her out 6 times and the boy doesn't come out, take her out again. Duh. Okay, all right? Take her out some more. All right? If you rub and it doesn't get silvery, then rub some more. That's very profound advice. If you try it and you're 4 or 5 times and he hasn't come yet, take her out 4 or 5 times more. The worst that can happen is you help a lonely person. Okay? The worst that can happen is you do something really nice. Okay? And you will get a boy. Okay? Different people have different. My Lama called them blockers. Different people have different blockers. You know? If you stole other people's boyfriends for 36 lives, then you got more blockers in your head. Okay? And you're going to have to take her out a few more times. That's all. All right? It just, some people takes more, some people takes less. How many is it going to take you? I don't know. Keep taking her out until the boyfriend comes. Got it?